women have been erased. And for a few years, for a few generations, after rising up, after standing up, after speaking out, after going to jail, women won some basic rights in this country and around the world. We won the right to abortion. We won the right to birth control only by standing up. And now, this very precious, this very fragile right that so many lives have depended on, that so many lives have been saved by, is under threat by a fascist woman-hating movement that is deadly serious. They have built up their power over decades. They hate the independence that abortion gives women. They hate the fact that women are in academia, women are in the hospitals as doctors and professionals, medical professionals. They hate the fact that there are women athletes. They hate the fact that there are women who are not stuck at home being property of their husbands and breeders of children. And that is why they are coming after abortion rights. And it is time right now. If you believe that women are full human beings, to get on the bus, to get on the plane, to come to Washington, D.C. and stand the fuck up. The future is being determined right now by what we do or do not do. Right now, the Supreme Court is getting ready to take away women's right to abortion. This morning in the New York Times, there was an article that says across this country, even before Roe v. Wade has fallen, many states have stopped doing abortions. They've stopped providing abortions. If you are in Missouri, there is not a clinic for you. If you are in South Dakota, there is no clinic for you. If you are in Oklahoma and you get that stick in your hand and it is positive, and maybe you're a teenager and not ready to have a child, maybe you're trapped in abuse and you don't want to be shackled to that abuser the rest of your life. Maybe you want to have a child, but you're not ready. You don't want to drop out of school or lose your job, and you get that stick in your hand and it's positive. The state of Oklahoma says it doesn't fucking matter. Your life is not your own. And this court right here with Amy Coney Barrett and Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas and the Rick Kavanaugh and the rest of these fascist judges want to tell you, and they want to tell the young girls and women across this country that their bodies do not belong to them, that their future doesn't count for anything, that the state is going to hijack their bodies and slave them to forced motherhood. And we are here to say, hell no! Hell no! Hell no! Hell no! It is time to rise the fuck up! It is time to stand up! These people are powerful! These fascists are powerful! But they are not gods! That's right. They are not all powerful! Stop sleeping on your power! Stop sitting back, telling yourself there's nothing you can do. That is a bullshit excuse. It is time to stand up, to rise up, to come to Washington, D.C. This is the place to be. This is the place to be if you love women. This is the place to be if you love girls. This is the place to be if you value LGBTQ people and rights. This is the place to be if you value justice. And I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it, and I want you to talk about it. Get on a caravan. Put a bunch of green flags on your car. Tell everybody at every rest stop why you are coming to D.C. Get on the train. Dress up in green. Tell everybody on the train why you are coming to D.C. Because women are not incubators. And you know that. And you can't live with yourself if you stay home and let women lose this fundamental right while you did nothing. And don't tell yourself, oh, I'll vote in November. After Roe v. Wade has been overturned, I'll vote for these Democrats who have never stood up and never fought against these Christian fascist theocrats the way they need to be fought. Do not tell yourself that sorry excuse. It is on you. It is on you to stand up, to rise up, like the women did who got up in Joel Osteen's church and disrupted the service, saying, my body, my choice. Like the women did who shut down the WNBA game and raced out on the field and brought business as usual to a halt. We need to bring business as usual to a halt. We have the power to do that. We have the numbers to do that. never been told to be a family history. She said she had an illegal abortion. Before Roe v. Wade came and stuck in a back alley. She was left by herself to bleed. She was 17 years old. She had suffered through 12 years of Catholic school. And even this many years later, more than 50 years later, talking about a people who was so stupid. I didn't know that I was pregnant. She was not stupid. I was like, well, I can teach women ignorant about their bodies. Who suffer from lack of abortion care at a higher rate than white women, and when they're forced to have children, they have 3 times the level of maternal mortality than white women. You need to be here for immigrant women who do not have the papers to travel. You need to be here for the women in detention, the women in prison, the women who you could never send an abortion pill to. You need to be here for the poor women. You need to be here for the young women. And you need to be here for all the women. Because every woman, no matter how much privilege she has, no matter where she sits in this society, is degraded and demeaned. When the state says that they do not have the right to control their own bodies, their reproduction, and their lives. And let me tell you this, do not say it cannot happen here.
Unless you guys really think it's dismembering a potato.
Do not say it cannot happen here. It is happening here, right across the street. Right across the street, they are having hearings over an insurrection. An insurrection in this country. People who use violence, Proud Boys, with their white supremacist Confederate flags, their hangman noose, and their Christian flags, and their machismo and their misogyny. They invaded that Capitol. They are ready to tear down the structures of democracy in this country, so-called. They are fighting for their future. What the fuck are you doing? Sitting back? Doing nothing? Or are you going to stand up? This is the place to be. You have to be a fighting people. You don't become a fighting people until you start fighting. You have to be a large-minded, justice-loving people. You do not become that until you start standing up for justice and acting on your love for humanity by getting in these streets. If we want a people with daring and courage and love for women, we have to embody it ourselves and call for it and inspire the same from others across this country. And let me tell you, there is a fury. There is a rage. There is a suppressed anger that is righteous among women and, yes, among girls across this country and around this world at the thousands and thousands of years of patriarchal chains, of rape and shame, of control and subjugation, of all the ways women have been beaten and abused and treated as less than. There is a fury that is waiting to be woken up, and we have to call it forth. We have to bring it to these streets. We have to make our rage felt out loud and proud, and right now our history is depending on it, and the future is pivoting on it. We have this power. We have to stand up. We have to rise up, and then we have to look at what kind of a fucking system do we live in? What kind of a society do we live in where half of humanity is on the verge of being enslaved by the state through forced motherhood? What kind of society do we have where hundreds of years after the first Africans were brought to these shores in slave chains, we still have white supremacy oozing from every pore of this society? We still have police brutalizing and beating and murdering black people. We still have white supremacy And we have to dig into this as we fight shoulder to shoulder together. We have to look at the truth of this country and what's at stake. We have to rise up together. We have to stand up now. So I want to ask everybody with Rise Up for Abortion Rights to echo me real quick, because I want us to put out a call. I want to put out a call to everybody across this country. So get ready. All right. We are Rise Up for Abortion Rights. We are here at the U.S. Supreme Court, and we are calling on you. If you believe that women are full human beings, not incubators, not baby-making machines, not property of the state, not things to be used and controlled and abused and forced to churn out baby after baby, whether they want to or not, regardless of their dreams, their aspirations, their hopes. If you care about the half of humanity that is female, I want you to come to D.C. Say it with me. Come to D.C.
Come to D.C.
Come to D.C.
Come to D.C.
Get on the train.
Get on the train.
Get in your car.
Get in your car.
Hop on a plane.
Hop on a plane.
Come to D.C.
Come to D.C.
Stand up for women.
Stand up for women.
Come to D.C.
Come to D.C.
Let the world see you.
Let the world see you.
We will not lie down.
We will not lie down.
We will not submit.
We will not submit.
We won't take
We won't take
this fascist shit.
this fascist shit.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Come to D.C.
Come to D.C.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Come to D.C.
Come to D.C.
If you care about women,
If you care about women,
this is the place to be.
this is the place to be.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Stand up for women.
Stand up for women.
Get to D.C.
Get to D.C.
Everything is on the line right now, sisters and brothers and beautiful people. Everything about the future. And where will you be? What are you going to stand for? Where are you going to put your body, your resources, your money, your time? Is it going to be sitting at home, letting a nightmare descend, letting the rights and the lives and the future of women be taken and crushed and decimated and degraded? Or are you going to stand up? Because there is still time to stop the U.S. Supreme Court from taking away abortion rights. There is still time. But there is no time to waste, so you got to get on the bus. You need to get yourself here. We need to rise up. We need to stand up. We need to flood these
Even
streets. It's beautiful
pro-abortion groups
that there's a
have
couple
denounced
dozen
them
of us
and,
here right
and
now.
tell other activists
It
not
is
to work with
beautiful that there
them.
are
They
young
are a
people
dangerous group.
who've been
They
leading
take in their
walkouts
money and funnel it back
of
to
students across New
their
York City and around
original
the country who have
organization,
come down
RevCom.
here.
Then
It
the
is beautiful
iteration was
that
Stop
Guido
Nation. Then it was
has gone
Refuse
on hunger
Fascism.
strike
Now
and done civil
it's Rise
disobedience,
Up for
calling on
Abortion
people
Rights. They
across
have
this country to
every couple
stand up,
years
and in
because
particular
other
for fathers
anti-fascist groups
like him to come here and represent for their daughters and the future generations. It is beautiful. And I'm going to put him on the mic in just a second. But this needs to grow. There are millions of fathers who care about their daughters' future. There are millions of young people terrified about their future. There are millions of mothers and grandmothers who know what it was like before Roe v. Wade, who know what it was like and do not want to see history dragged backwards. You need to come here. You need to be here. You need to stand together. We need to stand up. There is time to stop the U.S. Supreme Court from taking away the fundamental right to abortion. There is time to stand up and stop that. There is time, but there is not a lot of time. And it is on us, it is on all of us to get to D.C., to stand up, to rise up, and stop the U.S. Supreme Court from taking away abortion rights. I will ask you to come over and
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? Yeah,
I
that
want
was
to say
just
thank you and talk to everybody who's out there. You're inspiring.
that just uniquely
You're
applies.
inspiring. You're inspiring more. My name is Guido Reichstad, and I'm here. I came from Miami to be here. I'm telling you, this is where I have to be. This is where I need to be. I'm 42 years old. I'm a father. I've got a young daughter, 24, and my son, 14 years old. And when I saw the draft list, I knew what I had to do. I knew that we had the power in this country. We had the power to stop Roe and Wade and repeal. And there's a way. And because I know that way, I have a responsibility to act. So I want to talk to you today about how we have power and where our power is, and a little bit about power, what it is and where it is. So, where is power? Is it in 6 people? Is it in the Capitol? Is it in the Supreme Court? Where is it? Is it in the president? Power is where people believe power is. Power lies where people believe it lies. And I'll tell you, when the people understand, we the people of the United States, the 2/3 of this country that do not want to see Roe returned, we have the power to protect Roe. We have the power to protect each other. We have the power to protect our daughters, our wives, our neighbors, our lovers. We have that power. And this is how we have to use that power, and we have to build that power. So I'm going to talk to you about mass, nonviolent, civil resistance. And what that is. This is the way that people all across the world unite and wield popular power when their governments overstep the bounds. So, a couple years ago, 4 years ago, in Puerto Rico, they had a governor named Reuters. He was like Trump, but without the snake oil charm. He was a homophobe, misogynist, corrupt. When Puerto Rico was devastated by Hurricane Maria, it set that country back 10 years developmentally, and their governor was missing in action in rebuilding the country. Finally, the straw that broke the camel's back was he was revealed to be participating in a chat group along with other members of his cabinet where they're spreading homophobic and misogynistic text messages. And the people were outraged. Outraged, just like the people of this country should be. When these 6 unaccountable, unelected justices have the temerity to attempt to repeal the human rights of half the population. It's obscene. So in Puerto Rico, they knew what they had to do. The unions called the people into the streets. Millions of people went to downtown San Juan, sat in the streets, occupied the streets, brought the function of government to a halt. Day after day after day after day after day for 14 days. At the end of that time, there was no possible resolution to the crisis but for the governor to resign. And that's what happened. This is the first time in American history that a sitting governor has been forced to resign through popular power. The people of Puerto Rico understood where the power lies. It lies in us. It lies in us when we find the courage to step out of our normal everyday lives, to step out of the roles that we've lived day after day that tell us our only option is to wave a sign, to go to protest, to get on the bus and go home. That our only option is to wait, sit on our hands for 6 months to vote in November. That's wrong, friends, brothers, and sisters. That's absolutely wrong. We have the power to bring this city. We have the power to bring the Supreme Court. We have the power to bring the government of the United States peacefully, non-violently, to a halt until our popular demand, which is supported by 2/3 of the people of this country who do not want to see abortion rights eliminated, is not a radical demand. It is a popular demand. It is the righteous demand. And we have the power to stop the wheels of society from functioning until that demand is met. And what it takes, it's very easy. It takes you coming to this capital city. There's 5 key elements. Civil resistance works all across the world, every 2 to 3 years. There's 5 key elements. You got to have lots of people. Lots of people. Hundreds of thousands, millions. You've got to go to the capital city. And you have to, 3, you've got to disrupt the lives of those in power.
No more business as usual.
No more business as usual. You can hold a sign. You can ask nicely. We've done it for 60 fucking years. And they're going to say no. But when you use your body and you occupy the streets, you bring the function of government to a halt. It cannot be ignored. There's another key element. It has to be non-violent. It has to be 100% completely non-violent. And this is a strict red line. If there's any ambiguity around violence, you can guarantee it's going to become violent. And then we're on terrain where the state will win. But when it is non-violent, no matter what the state does, you have already won. If you occupy these streets, you will force the state to compromise. You will force the Supreme Court to hold its opinion or withdraw its opinion. You will force Congress to set aside the filibuster. You will force whatever change is necessary to meet your demand because you have the ultimate power. And I just want to say, just because you're nonviolent, it's not a shield that protects you from violence. It does not protect you from the repressive violence of the state. But no matter what they do, we've already won. If they repress us, we've won. Because every time across the world when the state represses nonviolence with violence, it triggers a backfiring effect. And you can guarantee for every person the state uses violence against, who maintains nonviolent discipline, they have brothers, they have sisters, they have uncles, they have friends, and you can guarantee 5, 10 people will come back into the streets. Because that's not what we're about. We're not about letting the state destroy the American public.
We're about fighting.
We need to learn the meaning of the word solidarity. Men, husbands, where the hell are you? Where are you? The lives of your daughters are on the line.
That's right.
The freedom of your daughters is on the line. The lives of those you love, everything we love is on the line. Because make no mistake, you can stay home, but you are not safe. We are not safe. As long as this court stays in power, we are not safe. The fact that they're willing to roll the human rights of this country back 50 years proves there is no line they will not cross. Ladies and gentlemen, the wife of a sitting Supreme Court justice has been implicated in a plot to overthrow the free and fair elections of the country. Fascism is at your doorstep. This is the time. This is the time to stand up. When the Supreme Court rules, if you're not out here, you are going to have to live with the consequences of your decision for the rest of your life. You're going to have to ask yourself, day after day, as you see right after right stripped away, why didn't I stand up? Why? When I had the chance to stop it. You know how I know this? Because this has happened before. We have seen this happen before. And if you do not take the opportunity now to stand up, you are going to go through the living hell every day for the rest of your life of knowing that you failed. You failed those you love. And you're going to have to witness the destruction of the world that your children are going to have to live in. So I'm just calling on everybody. What I'm asking is not much. I'm asking you just to do everything you possibly can. And you can come to these streets. Come to these streets.
Women deserve better!
Pro-choice, that's a lie!
Babies never choose to die!
Pro-choice!
Pro-choice, that's a lie!
Babies never choose to die.
Pro-choice, that's a lie!
Babies never choose to die.
Pro-choice, that's a lie!
Babies never choose to die.
Forceps!
Off their bodies.
Poison!
Off their bodies.
Your laws!
Off their bodies.
Forceps!
Off their bodies.
Poison!
Off their bodies.
Your laws!
Off their bodies.
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better.
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better.
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Dismemberment has got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Dismemberment has got to go.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Dismemberment has got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Dismemberment has got to go.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Dismemberment has got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Dismemberment has got to go.
We are the post-Roe generation!
And we will abolish abortion.
We are the post-Roe generation!
And we will abolish abortion.
We are the post-Roe generation!
And we will abolish abortion.
We are the post-Roe generation!
And we will abolish abortion.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Roe v. Wade is going to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Roe v. Wade is going to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Dismemberment has got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Dismemberment has got to go.
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better.
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better.
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better.
I'm an atheist, and I'm a leftist, and I have held the victims of abortion in my own hands. I know that abortion is murder, that it kills an innocent member of our human family. And we are here today to see an end to the archaic and barbaric and eugenic Roe versus Wade. And we will not rest until it is a crime in America to kill a baby from conception until death. Pro-choice, that's a lie.
Babies never choose to die.
Pro-choice, that's a lie.
Babies never choose to die.
Pro-choice, that's a lie.
Babies never choose to die.
Pro-choice, that's a lie!
Babies never choose to die.
My name is Lauren, and we come here together in unity, united under the fact that we are tired of the killing that's happening in America, the mass exploitations of vulnerable families. Big abortion is preying on our communities, and enough is enough. The overturning of Roe is the first step to creating safe and sustainable communities. We come across all political lines, religious lines, to say enough is enough. The killing will end. Hope is a discipline. We have it on our side. Roe versus Wade is going to overturn. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
What is it?
Roe v. Wade is going to go.
Veterans case.
And as a very quick note for the journalists here, we have our friends in green on the other side. They are a cult. They've been condemned by other anti-fascist groups in DC as a cult. They're run by a cult leader who funnels money towards himself. They're a front group for RevCom, and they have been for years. They've been involved in a number of violent riots. Just so you make sure you get that in there. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade has got to go.
Ho, ho. Roe v. Wade has got to go.
abortion as the way to build her family. And I like to tell people that I have two moms. One gave me life, one taught me how to live it, and I'm here fighting because of both of them, and I'm here fighting for the 2,363 babies who, unlike me, did not get to see a birthday today. And I believe everyone deserves a birthday, and we are here to end abortion.
Roe v. Wade is going to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Roe v. Wade is going to go.
How many decisions are today?
Hey everyone, my name is Noah. I am a part of a family that has done foster care. We had over 10 kids in our family over the course of 10 years. And I'm here to tell you that it is a lie that foster children should be aborted because they could potentially have a terrible life. That is a eugenics, ableist approach to life. It is wrong, and I am here to tell you that every person, regardless of where they came from or what life they might lead, deserves life and the pursuit of happiness. Abortion hurts women! Women deserve better! Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better!
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better!
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better!
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better!
Abortion hurts women!
Women deserve better!
Pro-choice, that's a lie!
Babies never choose to die!
Pro-choice, that's a lie!
Babies never choose to die!
In the mid-40s, my grandma was 16 years old and she was raped. She got pregnant through that sexual assault, but because of the bravery that she had and the bravery of my family, she carried my father to term. She placed him in an orphanage at that time in Helena, Montana, and he was adopted by a loving family who raised him. I was able to meet my grandmother before she passed away, my biological grandmother, and thank her, because what she did was a mama bear decision for her child, and what she has done has created a legacy, because not only is my dad alive, but I'm alive, my brother's alive. He has 4 children, I have 4 children. There is a legacy decision, and there is no reason why anyone, no matter how they're conceived, whether it's rape or incest, whatever it is, that is a valid human being that has potential. It doesn't matter how someone is conceived. The fact is that someone is conceived. And there is a loving, supportive group of people at pregnancy help centers and churches right here in this very group that if you've been gotten pregnant through sexual assault, we will stand with you, we will support you, we will find the care you need to not only walk through your trauma, but make sure your child has a chance at life. We are the pro-life generation,
And we will abolish abortion!
we are the pro-life generation,
And we will abolish abortion!
Our nation has been in this place before. For anyone that tells you that Roe is settled law and that abortion cannot be sent back to the states is obviously forgetting our history. Brown versus Board of Education was a collective reckoning in this nation when our Supreme Court had to look at 58 years of settled law and say this was wrong. You cannot judge people based on their skin color, and we cannot tell people that they're worthy of life because of the days that they have been alive. This is the civil rights issue of our day.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Roe v. Wade has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Roe v. Wade has got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Roe v. Wade has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Roe v. Wade has got to go!
Question. We can get to a world that is not despoiling the planet, destroying the planet, the system of capitalism, imperialism, and their wars. We can get to a different world, but we're going to have to fight. We're going to have to rise up. So I'm calling on you. I
my uterus. You are a man, you have a penis. I have a vagina. Leave me alone and don't tell me what to do.
We are the majority.
My body, my choice.
That's right. Come on, say why are you like
My body, my choice.
my body, my choice. Woo!
Overturn what?
Hell no!
I just want to say, I'm 15 years old, and I'm out here in D.C. today from New York City, and it took a lot to convince my parents to let me come out here, but this is so important, because what kind of future am I working towards if I don't have autonomy over my own fucking body?
That's
So
right.
everybody needs to come out here right now. If I can do it as a 15-year-old, without my parents, I'm out here with all these other activists, like, get the fuck out here. It feels really powerful and empowering for me to be out here because it makes me just so deeply important, and this is the cause of my generation.
Minnesota. Sorry, wrong way.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights!
Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights!
And I want you to take to heart what you just heard from this young woman. 15 years old. The first time I talked to her, she said, you know, a lot of people were saying, I came to a protest. I'm a woman, I'm shy, I don't like to ruffle feathers. A lot of them that came to one of the first protests, it was one that we held, Rise Up for Abortion Rights. And they said, but I got there and I realized I was kind of angry. I didn't know it, but I was kind of angry. And we went around the circle and we got to this one here. And she's 15 and she says, I am so angry. And I am so happy to find a place to put my fury that makes a difference. And she should be angry. Think about the future that our 15-year-olds, our 12-year-olds, our 8-year-old girls are facing.
9-year-olds.
Think about the future. The planet is on fire. The police are terrorizing and brutalizing black and brown people. The state is threatening to hijack women's bodies, to force them to have children against their will, to tell them it doesn't matter what you study for, doesn't matter what you dream of, doesn't matter what your hopes are, doesn't matter what your parents have hopes invested in you for, doesn't matter. If you get pregnant and you don't want to have a baby, if you want to have a baby and you're ready, that's beautiful. But if you get pregnant and you're not ready, or you have a health complication, or maybe you're assaulted, maybe you're raped and violated, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your dreams don't matter. It's not your life. It's not your body. It belongs to a patriarchal state, to vigilante fascists to hunt you down and hunt down those who help you. This is a future that's going to make everybody furious, and you need to answer her call. You need to answer our call. Rise up for abortion rights. We have power. We are the majority. Sometimes you have to fight for things when you are in the minority and there's still right to do, but this is an outrageous situation where the majority of people in this country do not want to see young girls, young women forced to have babies against their will, but they are sitting home and letting this battle pass them by, and so many lives would be lost and crushed and destroyed if we let that happen. We need to rise up now. We need to come here now. We need to stop what you are doing now.
You guys, make sure you guys QR code it. Go
Everybody
QR,
to
get on
DC.
our Instagram.
We have power. We need to flood these streets. We need to shut this city down. We need to shut this country down. Non-violent, but massive. And everybody has a role to play. Every single person has a responsibility. When you love someone, you are responsible for them. If you care about women and girls, you are responsible for their future. You cannot say you oppose forced motherhood. You cannot say you support abortion rights and sit your ass at home and do nothing. If you do, you are part of the problem, and you don't have to be. Be part of the solution. Stand up. Do not tell yourself that bullshit excuse, and it is an excuse. I can't make any difference. The deck is already stacked. The cards are already dealt. The court's leaked its draft. I can't do anything. Bullshit. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. Nothing ever changes until people dare to do what everybody else said was impossible, and it was until we rose up and made it real. That's how civil rights were won. That's how abortion rights were won. That's how marriage equality was won. That's how the right to vote was won. People didn't win the right to vote by voting. People won the right to vote by going in the streets and standing up and going to jail and putting it on the line. We need to do the same now, nothing less. Each one of your anger, if you're watching on TV, if you're on Instagram, or if you're walking in the street, every one of your anger is valuable and valid because they're trying to take away our fundamental human rights, and you can make a difference. You know, you can, if you cannot come to DC, like, start actions in your area. There's always something that you can do, every single person. I mean, I'm 15 and I'm here, but I have friends who weren't able to come, and they're starting massive actions in their own cities. Like, every person has a place in this movement, has a place in this fight, and it's so important that everyone is able to acknowledge that their anger has power. All right, yeah. Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Overturn Roe.
Hell no.
Overturn Roe.
Hell no.
Overturn Roe.
Hell no.
Overturn Roe.
Hell no.
We need to do something now, because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? This is our bodies, these are our choices, and if we don't fight now, we're going to lose the right to that. We need to stand up, we need to make the difference. So if you care about yourself, about your sisters, about your mothers, if you care about any marginalized community, you need to get out here and share your voice, because this is not okay. People are going to die. We need to do something now, because if we don't, who will?
If not you, who? We need you to come to DC right now. This is the place to be, because we are not lying down. We are not surrendering. We are not accepting that dark ages, theocratic fascists are going to control our lives and our futures of our daughters and the women and girls around this planet. We are not lying down for that, and you should not either. Do you know that Samuel Alito, in his draft decision, called it theocrats, dark ages, religious lunatics, who said that men should have the right to rape their wives? Come on now. Who is going to sit back and let this go on? If it was written down, you'd think it was too extreme. If it was in a fiction book, you would think it was too extreme. But it is happening now, it is real, and we are the only ones who are going to stop it. Everybody likes to say, if I lived during civil rights, I would have stood up. Everybody likes to say that if I was in Nazi Germany, when Hitler came to power, I would have done something. Well, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? There is a way to fight. There is a way to stand up. There is a way to have your voice and your fury and your outrage be felt and heard. There is a place to be. It is called Washington, D.C., in front of this illegitimate fascist court. This is the place to be, and you need to be here. This is where justice-loving people are. This is where women-loving people are. This is where people who love LGBTQ and trans youth are. This is where people who value the lives of black women and Latino women and women trapped in the detention centers. This is where you need to be. You need to show your love. You need to show your love for justice. It is not something that can exist privately, isolated in your bedroom, in your car alone, in your house, heart, locked away in a little chamber that you tell yourself privately. You need to show it. You need to show it. And you become a justice-loving, freedom-loving, freedom-fighting people by standing up. You do it by standing shoulder to shoulder with people who don't think just like you, but want to share the fight for a better future together with you. People of different backgrounds, people of different genders, people of different nationalities and races, people of different belief systems, standing up and saying no. Forced motherhood is female enslavement. Forced motherhood
is female enslavement.
Forced motherhood is female enslavement. And we say no. We say no. There is no reason to allow this to let it go down. We say no, and you need to say no. And Washington, D.C. is the place to be. And I want you to dress yourself in green. Put the green bandana on. Paint your face green. Wear the green clothes. Put a flag on your car. Get everybody you know in caravan to D.C. Come tonight. Come tonight. Get on a plane. Hop on the train. Make a scene. Bring everybody you know. And we need to fill these streets. It needs to be hundreds, soon thousands, tens of thousands, and yes, millions, because there are millions of us. If we stand up, we can change the way the future is shaping up. We can do it, but we have to act now, and we have to be the ones, and we are calling on you, and we want you to feel very uncomfortable staying home. We want you to feel very uncomfortable doing nothing, being silent. You think it's uncomfortable in these streets? Yes, it's hot. Yes, Guido's on hunger strike. Yes, some people are sleeping on the ground. Koyuki gave up her birthday party. Other people are making sacrifices, but why? Because it is much more uncomfortable, much more unconscionable, much more unacceptable to sit home and think about me, and tell yourself there's nothing you can do, when now is the time your voice and your body is needed most, your conscience is needed most. This is the time that counts more than ever before. It is now that history and the future is being shaped, so it is now when you have to stand up. It is not too late, but if you sit back, it will be. And women will pay the price. Women will pay the price, and it will put a stain on this whole society. For men to sit back, for women to sit back, and let women's bodies be taken over by the state. Let women be told it doesn't matter what their dreams are, what their hopes are, what their aspirations are. It doesn't matter. You don't count. It doesn't matter if you have a fetal abnormality. There's right now in Poland, if you are a woman who is pregnant and you have cancer, you cannot get treatment because there is a heartbeat inside you, they say, that matters more than you. That is what is coming to this country. There are states across this country that have already stopped doing abortions. They have already stopped doing abortions in anticipation of this ruling. How can you let that be the reality? Don't tell yourself you're going to vote for the Democrats in December. They're not going to handle this in November. That's after the right will have been gone. You need to stand up now. It's after. You can't wait till November, and don't kid yourself. These Democrats have never fought for women's lives the way they need to be fought for. These Democrats have never stood up against these Christian fascists and called them out. They have always given the moral high ground to these anti-abortion, woman-hating lunatics. Let's be real, sisters and brothers. We are the ones who need to stand up. Why should abortion be safe, legal, and rare? The way the Democrats said for years, rare. Why rare? There's nothing wrong with women deciding their bodies, their lives, when they need to, on demand and without apology. There should be no shame for abortion. We are the ones who have to say that. We have to be here. We need to rise up and make that a reality. And you need to be with us. This is the place to be. There is so much love out here. There is so much fury out here. There is so much beauty out here. And there is so much joy out here. Because there is nothing like standing up for the future. And we have a fighting shot to win this, to beat this assault back. We can stop the Supreme Court from overturning Roe. And if we pour out in these streets and they still overturn Roe, we will be in a stronger position to rally people to stand up and win this right back if we have stood up. We need to rouse our fighting people now. You are needed. This is the place to be. I want to call you here. Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, rise up.
Rise up.
that we stop the Supreme Court from taking away abortion rights. We come from different viewpoints, perspectives, backgrounds. We come from different states, but we are coming together with a common purpose, an urgent purpose, a purpose that makes clear that now is the time to act. Now is the time to call forth the courage, the determination, the daring, to make clear to the fascists in the Supreme Court and throughout this land that we will bring all of society, the gears of society, to a grinding halt before we let them take away the right to abortion. And with that, I want to pass the mic to Robin Fulford. Robin is running for U.S. Congress against Jan Crenshaw, and we're giving it up for her.
That's right.
Okay, so I am here from Texas, and I am proud to stand with you because we know that abortion is not about life. It is about control. We know that. And this is important. It is primary to everything that we do. And I'm a Democrat, and I will be fighting this fight along with you. I will not stand silent. This is too important. I have a son and a daughter at home, and this is an important right to them. It's an important right to my constituents. It's an important right to everybody in this country. Abortion is not about life.
That's right.
It is only about control.
That's right.
All right, give some love. There we go, all the way from Texas. Right now in Texas, for about 8 months, there has been almost a total ban on abortion. And to all those people who say, well, if they take away Roe v. Wade, then I'll stand up. I want you to look at Texas. They took away abortion.
8 months ago.
And that did not embolden pro-choice people. They got more defeated across this country, more accepting, more complicit. And you know who was emboldened? Was the women haters and the fascists who have been passing ban after ban at record speed across this country. And there has been a capitulation of pro-choice people and the so-called movement. We need to reverse that now. We need to do that by coming to D.C., standing up in the streets, taking up the green bandana. Because women's lives are too important. There is too much at stake to sit home and do nothing. We waved this green bandana, which came out of Argentina, a deeply Catholic country, highly patriarchal, very repressive, where abortion was criminalized and women were sent to prison for miscarriages. And they went in the streets again and again with this green bandana, and they rallied people again and again till they were millions strong, and they tore down the laws criminalizing abortion. This is the model. It's the power of the people from below in the streets, and Rise Up for Abortion Rights is calling on you to come to D.C. right now. We need to do this. It is on us. It is on us. Every single day we are going to be out here until the decision comes. We need more and more people each day. Rise up for abortion rights. Rise up for abortion rights.
Rise up for abortion rights.
Overturn Roe. Overturn Roe.
To protect innocent lives. Guys, the pro-life community, we're not the ones.
Let's do this, Sam. What do we
It's the
want?
pro-abortion community that's been terrorizing this nation for 45 years. And we're in an administration right now that is ignoring the Holocaust. They're ignoring the violence. And right now, we have seen since the leaked decision in Dobbs, we have seen countless acts of violence against pregnancy resource centers that are helping women.
Oh, I don't know.
We're seeing radical groups call for massive acts of violence. And there's elected officials throughout this nation who are doing nothing. President Biden, we call you to condemn the acts of violence against pregnancy resource centers. America, we must do better. We
must end the bloodshed that's lasted for 49 years. Some people may wonder, well, what's the answer? I'll tell you what I tell every woman I see outside of an abortion facility, that they can be a great mother to that child, that they can trust in the Lord with all their heart and lean not on their own understanding, which has brought them there, but they can acknowledge the Lord, and He will direct their steps away from that place to a crisis pregnancy center that's going to help them choose life and take care of those babies, helping them be great mothers to those children.
Protesters, I wish I was being paid to do this. I wish I was being paid to do this. They say that we support violence. No, in fact, we are
Hello, everyone. My name is Shohana, and I am proud to be an Asian American here in this country who stands for life. I've been told many times that I should be pro-abortion and I should be of the opinion that killing children is okay simply because of the color of my skin. And that is racist. That is wrong. I am tired of the lies being told that people are not worthy of life because of their skin color, because of their gender, because of their religion or sexual orientation. Our birth certificates do not come with grades based on how we were conceived or what our race is. And we need to stand for life and show that all human beings are worthy of life and that you can be pro-life regardless of where you come from and your background. We're here today with people from all backgrounds, all religious backgrounds, and we are standing together and rallying together despite our differences for the sake of the unborn.
Trans children, child abusers. They are direct. The Republican policies are directly causing an increase on abortions because we know what stops abortion. Banning abortions does not stop abortions. It is increased birth control. It is increased access to sex education, and it is increased social services for women after they give birth. Those are the things that prevent birth control. But Republican policies have not only been trying to abolish abortion, they've been trying to abolish all of these policies, therefore directly causing an increase in abortion access. I am here today to tell you that I used to be pro-life and then I grew up. I'm here to tell you today that I grew up in the Southern Baptist Convention. My father is a pastor. And I'm here
Fourth
to tell
one
you
came
that the
down.
Southern Baptist Convention on 3 separate cases in the 70s after
I can't read.
Did another one come out?
Yeah. Golan v. Saba. It is.
The Bible teaches priests on how to perform abortion on husbands who suspect their wives of cheating. This is not about babies. This is about controlling women. And even if this were about babies, the reality is that the morality of abortion does not matter. Because abortion was founded based on several constitutional rights. It was founded based on the right to body autonomy, the right to privacy and medical privacy, and the right to religious freedom. Christians will say that this is a morality issue, but the reality is it doesn't matter. Your opinions on abortion don't matter because it doesn't stop the fact that
It's a Hague case about child abduction. So it's international law.
Right to religious freedom. Those are constitutional rights. And I am here today protesting because I refuse to have my rights taken away from me. In this country,
These are not the decisions you're looking for.
it is part of our freedom. Even a class has body autonomy in this country. We cannot do anything to a corpse without its permission. We cannot take organs from a corpse even if it is to save someone's life. If you ban abortion, you're saying women don't have body autonomy. And so if you ban abortion, you're saying women have less rights than a corpse.
What's up?
Hey, man.
And I am here today to tell you that we have done the education. We are here today because we know people who are in prison for miscarriages and stillbirth. And if you think you're safe because you're
Should we all do it? Cuts time.
you are wrong. In California, we already have instances of conservative counties illegally imprisoning women for stillbirth. One woman was in prison for 18 months before a judge dropped the charges. You think you're safe because you're in a blue state is wrong. And if you think you're safe, you are wrong. Eliminate Roe v. Wade.
I'm spokesperson for Students for Life.
Of any of the constitutional personal rights to be taken away.
You're a spokesperson?
Yes.
Can you tell us your position?
On abortion?
Yeah, just just kind of cold.
Sure. Abortion kills a living human being, and anytime that you take a qualification about a person, like a heartbeat, they're not implanted in the uterus, that's dehumanizing the preborn and saying that you have to have some qualification, you have to meet some requirement to be considered a person, and that's what we've done every time in history where we've had these huge atrocities happen. It's been because we've dehumanized people, and so we have to recognize that once you are a whole, living, unique human being, you are a person and deserve human rights.
So your position is more like the Carrie Buck v. Bell
Can you explain?
case? Well, that case was about a woman who was, they wanted to sterilize her because they thought she was stupid.
Absolutely, that's wrong.
It was back in the 1920s or 30s. This is a Virginia case, but it was important. I mean, it's very similar to what your position is. It's almost the same exact argument. You know? But well, thanks for talking to me. What's your name?
Noah Slater.
Noah Slater.
Yes.
Yeah, Buck v. Bell.
Okay.
You can't miss it.
Yeah.
Randy Barnett at the Georgetown University Law School is the professor that really has written a lot about it. Yeah, he's written some great stuff. You got it.
People in this country support abortion. And the government works for the people. And if the government refuses to work for the people, we will not back down. They will continue to see us. Well, that was basically it. But I want to tell you guys to stay positive through the negativity. I know we are exhausted, but we are doing this to save people's lives. We are doing this because the reality is that this is a fight where you have to pick a side, and the side that you're going to pick is either on the side of the fetuses or it's going to be on the side of women. And I changed from being pro-life to pro-choice because I choose women.
Reproductive rights!
Can I interview you real quick?
Sure.
Good afternoon.
So what's
my name is Yvette Arellano.
I just spoke to somebody over there. They have their position. Tell me your
Texas.
position on
And I want to
Roe
start
v. Wade.
us off with a chant from Latin America, where this movement has been strong
to the extent
against the
that
death
even
of
though
women
generally
everywhere,
I'm
against
averted to
femicide, against the
politics,
protection of our
from
bodies.
a
And
top
that
down
chant
Can you
goes,
do me a favor?
Alerta,
Can she hold this and we can step over?
Camina. La lucha feminista esa era una lucha
Yeah, just can
mía.
you go where it's quiet? Sorry, just,
In Houston, Texas, we are home of the largest petrochemical complex. And I never
I
see
still have any audio
a
there.
pro-life voice
Thanks.
standing on environmental justice
right
for the
here,
protection
so tell me.
of our
So you're telling me
bodies
your position is
that lead to
yeah,
road
on Roe.
pathways,
Yeah,
that lead to
I'm
developmental
here to support
issues,
reproductive rights as a whole,
biological
and to just sort of stress the fact that while the United States government is an entity that overall has arched towards fascism for a while and has had ups and downs with continued oppression, even with all of this and my hatred for reformism, that this specific ruling on bodily autonomy is still important, perhaps the most important thing so far in my life. Because if bodily autonomy is attacked and reproductive rights are attacked, which they already have been, and they're attacked to the point where the Supreme Court overturned the 50-year-ago precedent of their protection, we have very little left to protect ourselves from the rapid decline of individual autonomy and the ability to manufacture solidarity in our society. Meaning we will no longer be able to coordinate a revolution that is equitable, or live in a world that is equitable. Because for me, on top of all of the pain it causes women to not have access to abortions, from a sociological perspective and the meta of the United States and of the world, you have to account for the role of women and how women getting out of the house and out of the unpaid labor of housework, which they are still in many ways chained to, is because of abortion rights and contraception. And taking that away puts women out of places that are making decisions. Takes women away from being involved and creating equity. And that has ripple effects. And not only does that have ripple effects in just the the political economy of the United States and the socio-cultural elements of the United States and its future and its trajectory. But internationally, the United States, for all it is, for its reputation varying, it is the most powerful country in the world, and that has sway. It is its own precedent, the United States rulings. The United States complacency, the United States cruelty is its own precedent. And to avoid that at any cost, creating a precedent in the most powerful country in the world, not only just a precedent of oppression, but a precedent of oppression that disenfranchises half of the population, will take away our ability to fight back. So we need to stop it before it happens. It's that simple.
Thank you for talking to me.
Yeah. Sorry if it wasn't coherent.
No, it's very coherent. In fact, I was with you guys on a march to Kavanaugh's house last year.
Yeah.
The first march last year, remember? And they brought up Carrie Buck v. Bell, which is that case in Virginia where they were going to sterilize Carrie Buck. It was like back in the 20s or 30s. It's so similar to your position, you know. It's like we're just replaying the whole thing over and over again.
It's a broader threat.
So does the government have a right to tell you anything about your body?
No, bodily autonomy is attacked, and that's one of the things I think this movement needs to stress more is that when bodily autonomy is attacked, it's also a gateway to attacking trans rights, and it is already an attack on trans rights.
Can I get your name just for attribution on the interview?
Yeah, my name is Ian Davey. And the attack on bodily autonomy is a queer and feminist issue.
Can you also tell me the spelling of your name just so we get it right?
IANDAVEY.
Cool. Thank you very much. Cool. Thanks for talking to me, man.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
I'm a little tired.
No, and your voice will come back. Your voice is different, right? Yeah.
To die because you could have a terrible life. So, for my history of doing foster care, that's where I look. I think of the kids that were sleeping in the room across from me. I think of them. I think there's people that think they should have died, and I think that is a standard nobody should keep.
I forgot to get your name when I talked to you earlier.
Noah Slater.
And can you spell it first just so we get it right?
NOAHSLAYTER.
Standard spelling? Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Thank you. Sorry.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you cannot take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all. Here at Rise Up for Abortion Rights, we believe that if this fascist court takes away our rights, their society will cease to function. There will be millions across this country in the street because we are the majority. Women are the majority. We are not the minority anymore. We take up 51% of this country. We outnumber them. By so many millions, we outnumber them. And we will be in the streets every single day until we take our rights back if they take them away. And we will be here every single day as they continue to threaten represent. Because we are tired of a fight that we have had for over 50 years. For over 1,000 years, women have been fighting for basic rights. And it does not make any sense why we should be subjected to these horrific human rights violations, because that is what they are. They are not just women's rights violations, they are human rights violations. We are people. We are people. We are human beings. You cannot just take away our rights as if we do not matter. You cannot stand on your fucking pedestal and say that your life does not matter. I am important. All of the people standing up here today are important. Their lives are important. And they are more important than a clump of cells. They are way more important than a clump of cells. Women who have cancer, who cannot seek treatment because they have a heartbeat in their stomach, are more important than a clump of cells that does not have a consciousness yet. There is a reason why the people over there don't understand and don't believe what we do. And that is because they have been subject to propaganda for years and years. The religion that they might come from has told them time and time again that the book they believe in says that women shouldn't have a right to choose. But I'm here to tell you that it does not. The Bible says nothing about abortion or a woman's right to choose. Not a single thing. However, the Catholic Church continues to preach and preach that it does, but it does not. We are serious about what they are doing. And what they are doing is a human rights violation. I am appalled that the United Nations is not calling out the United States Supreme Court for being illegitimate. We have had this right for 50 years, and we will continue to fight for it if they take it away. We will continue to be here until they decide that it's not worth it for women to have rights. We will be by the millions in the streets until they know that we will not follow the rest of their laws if they do not keep this right with us. If they do not keep us safe. If they do not fight for us the way that we fight for ourselves. We elect people into this government. We elect people into this government to represent us. And we will never, ever support a government that refuses to support us. We are tired. We are so tired. Some of us have been out here for days, sleeping on the ground. We do not want to have to keep fighting for these rights, but we will. We will stay in the streets 24/7 all day long until they are secure. And you should be here too. If you can get to DC, get to fucking DC. Join us. If you can't, get in the goddamn streets. In your city, in your hometown, call your friends, call your brother, call your sister, call your mom, call your extended family. Get in the goddamn streets and be loud. Be disruptive. Stand in traffic if you can. Cause commotion. Because we can stop this. We can. But we have to make them see us. We have to be so large. We have to be so large that they question whether or not they will be perceived as legitimate if they let this pass. We are not here to change the minds of fascist women haters. We are not here to convince the women haters on the Supreme Court that women deserve rights. We are here to show them that if they let Dobbs versus Jackson go through and if they take away Roe versus Wade, their jobs and their courts will be perceived as illegitimate. Their rulings will be perceived as illegitimate. Countries all over the world will perceive them as illegitimate. The United States will lose the power that it loves to boast. And we are tired. We are tired of having to fight this fight.
fight, but we will stand out here all day, get sunburnt, get dehydrated, faint, if we must. Thank you.
We are not advocating those things, though. So if people are thirsty, go get some water. It's over there.
Like, call me out, no, bring it.
There you go. Get Ian. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights. Rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights. Rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights.
Rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights. Rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights.
For abortion rights. Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights. Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights. Rise up. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights. Rise up. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights. Rise up. Let's try this one right here. Abortion on demand.
Abortion on demand.
And without apology.
And without apology.
Without this basic right.
Without this basic right.
Women can't be free.
Abolish abortion.
Abortion on demand. And without apology.
Without apology.
Without this basic right.
Without this basic right.
Women can't be free.
No human can be free.
So the decisions are still rolling out, so we're going to be here until we know for a fact that this has not been decided on today. And while we're here, we're still calling on everyone to get to fucking D.C. Get to D.C. like everyone who has spoken before me.
But if you're watching and you're walking home and you think that women are full human beings, not incubators, join us.
If you believe women deserve and they need the right to their autonomy, the right to their bodies, their reproduction, their own destinies, join with us right now. I see you standing there. Defy whatever you're doing and join us on the spot. Get behind here with us if you believe that. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up. Overturn Roe. Overturn Roe. Overturn Roe. Overturn Roe. Get to D.C. Fill the streets. Get to D.C. Fill the streets. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights,
Rise up.
rise up. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights,
Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights,
Rise up.
Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up. Rise up for abortion rights, for abortion rights, rise up.
Yeah.
Post-Roe? Hell no! Post-Roe? 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 Abortion on demand and without apology! 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 Abortion on demand and without apology!
Into the street, abortion on demand and without apology. Into the street, abortion on demand without apology. Abortion on demand without apology.
They'll bring us down. Yeah, we think six decisions can go. They're done. I think that they reverse them. When they put the order, when they put the number in the left column, that means they're done.
To fight for our rights. Abortion rights. Right to our body. Our body, our choice. 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 All right. I have a Spanish chat for you to bring